And welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm Kathy.
I'm John.
And the empty chair is where John said.
So John is still on his way back from our small break. Kathy, what episode are we on tonight?
Like 157, 158.
157, 158. All right, let me see. Podcast, we are on... I don't know because I already deleted that.
I'm John.
See, there he comes.
What is it?
No, John just came in yelling, I'm John. We are actually on episode 158.
Yay! I was practically right.
All right. I wanted to make sure. So we're on episode 158. Today's going to be an episode of Hodge Podge discussion and talking. I am actually going to put together a Gundam model, the Ultraman Gundam model, which actually has light up parts and such. Ooh, yeah, the chest lights up and the eyeballs light up. So we're going to be doing that. Other than that, let's get to our business. We want to thank all of our sponsors, Tectonic Craft Studios, for making some really cool MDF stuff. We want to thank Muson Minis for hosting our channel. We want to thank Metalhead Minis for hosting and selling our products, which you can find dice, widgets, other cool little things. And also for Warfare Weekend, which if you didn't see, we put up a new post about Warfare Weekend, which we're still trying to sell some stuff from that. To help support us for the convention later this year. Who else? What else did I forget? Creature Caster. We are a creature creator. Totally forgot about that one. I got everybody, didn't I? I went a little bit fast on that. But our normal. John, what are you drinking tonight?
I am having a Moscow Mule.
A Moscow Mule. Kathy?
I'm having a gin and tonic.
And I am having, since I still have some, Winter Grind Coffee Stout from Mother's Brewing Company in Missouri. Great beer. Legionnaires is having a margarita.
As long as it's not with pizza.
And Captain Mizzy is having a mango strawberry muscata. So, guys, we appreciate you all coming in and listening and watching and doing all this cool stuff. It really makes us smile to know that you're out there listening. Please be safe. Make sure that you're definitely wearing your mask, you're keeping track of each other. Somebody needs something, help out when you can, help out how you can. It was pretty evident this last week with all the snowstorms. Plenty of people needed help. So from all of us to all y'all, cheers.
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 I'm going to save this for a second because I had a really good dinner before this. We smoked some pork ribs with twice baked mashed potatoes and baked beans. Man.
Now, everyone watching, look away for a second because this isn't meant for you. It's just for Gonzo.
Oh, yeah, I can send a picture. Who all wants a picture? I can just send you a picture.
No. No need to send another picture.
It looked so good. Legionnaires had chicken pot pie. Oh my god. Was it like homemade? Was it a Costco chicken pot pie? Or was it like a Marie Callender, chicken pot pie? I mean, it doesn't matter because
the Marie Callender ones are amazing too.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Good.
Yes.
I had jambalaya, which Banyan made, so it was pretty good.
Ooh, that sounds good too. Let me switch over to the paint cam.
I haven't had jambalaya in years and years.
Oh, by the way, John, how did your stream go? Your MechWarrior Online. So if you don't know, John did a MechWarrior Online stream this past week.
Went for about an hour and a half.
And?
I want to thank Legionnaires for hanging out the whole time and Trash for showing up for a little bit, and that's about it.
Well, Legionnaires says there's echo.
Ooh, hold on. Could be. Hold on.
Is that because of the switch in the camera?
Yeah, it's Gonzo.
Gonzo specifically echoing.
Yeah, no. there was a bunch of audio added that I had to fix, and I didn't fix it on this one.
Oh, I want Jimmy John's.
All right.
I don't really like Jimmy John's. They're okay, but
They're okay. I mean, if somebody gave me some, I would eat it.
I mean, someone gives me most food, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kathy, I don't
Yeah.
remember if you remember. I don't know if you remember, but I got this model, the Aloxal Astral Dragon, and got it and printed out. I will have to wait to print more stuff until the weather gets a bit better.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
understandable.
messing with my
A
resin.
lot of people have been saying that because it's so cold
Forgot my
where
glasses.
they are. It's impossible for them to be printing stuff.
Yeah, the resin is just not setting up correctly, and it is causing a lot of problems. So, I did pick up some cool new tools that I wanted to try out too, which probably won't be used.
Okay.
Do what?
This is what I'm going to work on tonight.
What are you working on? I can't see it. Can you tell me?
Oh, you guys, that makes me feel like I should have
Probably
gotten
not.
my.
You bring out your Gundam?
Well, this isn't a Gundam. These are just toys.
Oh, they're just toys?
Yeah.
Well, I have that Transformer Gundam, that Autobot.
But look,
Oh, the Autobot Megatron?
Yeah, the Autobot Megatron.
I have a new thing thanks to my friend Nestor of Nesty
Oh.
Knows.
I know Nestor. We've had him on the show. He's awesome.
He sent me it's a 1/144 scale Gundam Barbados.
Oh, is it the blue one? I'm trying to look on the screen.
I'm gonna say no, unless I'm missing something.
Oh.
Mostly
He usually
the
sends people that are into Gundam.
black and gray.
Oh, gee. Hold on. Captain Mizzy became Transformer, so I'm going to
It is a little blue chest piece.
grab some instructions because I need them to...
Oh, wait. Kathy... Oh, you're being forced to transform a Transformer on here?
Yep. I haven't
Hooray!
played with this one that much, so I don't know it off the top of my head. I know parts, but...
Hey, Sydney. Welcome to podcast night. I am not actually reading Conan the Barbarian right now, as it says on our.
I fixed that.
Did you? Because it still says Kathy Walper reads Conan the Barbarian stories.
No, I fixed it.
This Hodge Podge podcast day. That's what I see.
Probably can't see it.
Gonzo is perpetually upside down.
He is perpetual.
The only thing we can do to change that is to contribute channel points to the challenge, which is to make Gonzo stop being weird. Which seems kind of impossible. Oh, you read Hodge Podge? Maybe I just need to refresh.
I don't go up there. Legs.
So I did work on some pieces. I got his head completed, which is done. But I did pick up some new tools. Someone had recommended it on one of the Gundam forum things that I read, and I'd never used them, so we're going to kind of use them a little bit today. If I can find my pieces that I need to work with.
Brown.
There we go.
Wait, did you pick up the gold? The crazy gold Gundam?
I do have the crazy gold one. I just haven't put it together yet. Because that one's super, super legit. I do have it. It's over there somewhere. The one that's like solid gold and plated gold and everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've got
There
that
you
over
go,
there.
Captain Mizzy.
Okay.
Insane.
All right, so I'm going to be working on the chest pieces. Which
So
is
he put his transformer together, but you didn't make him be the big screen.
Oh, do I have to make him redo it again?
No.
Too late. Too late.
Too late.
So, Well, that one required instructions, Captain Mizzy. I've only transformed that one a couple times, so.
C21. Okay. Boom.
I'm already looking forward to reading Chapter 2 of At the Mountains of Madness, you guys.
Oh. Double instructions.
Okay. C1, 21, and 22.
Keep them in the little plastic thing. That's not clippers. Oh, cool, Legionnaires. Got done with those Starks finally?
Do what? What did Legionnaire say?
Yeah, I finished his Stark starter set now.
Oh, nice. Okay, so I picked up something because someone told me I should try these out, and they were super, super cheap. So I figured I would do it. I wouldn't say super, super cheap, but cheap enough. So I need, hold on, A28. Okay. And I'd never seen it before, but hey, why not? I need 23 over here. And Kathy, you may have seen them or used them, but they're fiberglass brushes. Uh-oh, got a raid coming.
Hey, Meat just raided. Hey, Meat how was your stream? What were you working on tonight? Was it another one of those cardboard terrain buildings?
Is that all of them? Oh.
By any chance?
Someone make sure to give a shout out to that lucky individual.
Alrighty.
So, Kathy, I don't know if you've ever used one of these fiberglass brushes meant for like getting rid of mold lines and everything. Have you ever used one of these before?
No. Nope.
I mean, it's like a brass brush just made for softer materials.
Yeah. Someone was like, this stuff is really, really good for mold lines and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I'll try it out. And I mean, it's kind of neat. It definitely helps when you're trying to put and get into like tight spots or whatever. So it's just a little pin, and you twist them up and down to, move the tip and such. And
twist them up and down to move the tip. Got it.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, that's what he said.
Okay. You be you, man. Alright, so we got
Durasand sanding twigs. Sanding twig is. I'm living in the dark ages over here.
You're using fingernail files, aren't you?
No, we have these. That's what these are? That's what they call these? I mean, I just call them little emery boards. Sanding twigs. Way to market that.
Why would
we're
you
going to make emery boards of varying grits, and we're going to make them skinny and call them sanding twigs. That's fair. Yes, we do use these. I just didn't realize that's what they were called.
Why would you do this? God, they put these plastic straps over everything. And some of them don't even keep them in the container, which I think was the whole purpose. But hey.
They work fantastic for plastic, for resin, for some of the smaller lines on metal stuff. Sidney wants to know what your special tool is called, Gonzo. I believe she's talking about the brass brush tool.
Well, they're just called fiberglass brushes. This one's a Euro tool it's made in Germany, and then I got one that's a little bit thicker, and it's another one made in Germany, but it has fiberglass at the end of it, and you just use it to file down whatever you're trying to file down. Use it like a pen. And
Can't
so
believe it. You're killing me. Killing me.
it's
It's tiny.
it's tiny.
We're 12, sorry. I was going to say, Eurotool is actually a really good company. They used to partner with Games Workshop for their hobby stuff way, way back in the day. I still have my Eurotool cutters that are great. They're not in perfect shape after 20 some years, but they're pretty good. And I still have a couple Eurotool handles for X-Acto blades that work well.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff is, you can tell that you're not going to be sanding down metal with it. It's meant for plastics and stuff like that. So so far it's done pretty good. It's not really scratched up or messed up anything. So I got itch. But for stuff like this, it's kind of worth it. There's not really many mold lines, and I
feel
mean,
like that's what I would want for a Gundam, because while they are clean and so well engineered, they do have some mold lines,
yes,
and it's not like they're huge, but it would have satisfied me more when I was putting together that first one if I had something to just file away at least a little bit of the mold line.
yeah, I figured I would try them out because I mean, like I says, there's little bitty pieces and such, and getting into like smaller cracks would probably like this piece right here. This little bitty nub, and I can just scratch it right off.
Just brush that nub.
Yep, brush that nub, and it's done. I mean, I get closer with the clipper as close as I can, and then just take the brush and brush it off. That little extra bit that's on there.
Mm-hmm. That's sort of the idea, like when you're using, like I said, a brass brush.
Yeah.
I want to show something real quick while I'm here. Is these came in the 2 weeks since we last did it, and you can barely see it, but that clear thing is my action figure base with the peg holes, which is super cool. And it's got the cutouts here, so you can put them together. I've got my 3 Mandalorian armored people here in hooked together, and it's really cool. They're on Etsy.
Is it like the kind of like the Gundam bases?
Not exactly. They're literally just cut clear plastic into a shape with 2 pegs sticking up for you to put in the heel or foot, wherever it is. They've got 2 different size pegs on each one. For example, here you'll see that Sabine is only using one of the pegs because her feet are small. So this big peg here won't fit, but the small one will, and she stays on pretty well. So
putting the light package.
Engineers has a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
People have been talking about the vortex mixers on YouTube.
It's because
Do you
they're
trust AliExpress, an English language site for the Chinese website Alibaba, to save $40 versus Amazon?
I would use something that has a very good protection, like a PayPal or a credit card that's only used for online for that.
correct.
I don't want to say that it's not trustworthy, but you want one where you're very much aware of where you're using it so that you can be sure nothing unfortunate is happening.
Yeah, that way your money just isn't ripped away
We're
from you.
getting a raid, you guys.
From who?
Sharkinabox is raiding.
Well,
Raid, thank you so much for that raid, Sharkinabox.
That's 2.
What were you doing on your stream, Shark? Tell us all about the things that you do.
All right. A127.
And welcome, raiders.
Welcome,
to
everybody.
our podcast night, where it's actually, we don't have a topic tonight. We're just talking about whatever, and Gonzo is putting together Gundam, and John is putting together...
Yeah. More of opening up some toys that have been sitting around for a couple months. I like to have a backlog, so when I get the urge to open up an action figure, I don't have to go, because otherwise you go crazy. You got, like, too many. and I
Shark was
may
painting
have.
brainy Tyranids. I saw
Oh,
pictures of your brainy Tyranids, I think, on Instagram or in a Discord or something. I like the brainy Tyranids. They look awesome. Feel free to post the link if you want
Oh
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
chat.
Let's see.
absolutely. Yeah, I just be careful on that Legionnaires. You don't want to. I'm very careful. Like if I do anything on any remotely questionable website, I just am careful and use a certain credit card for it.
Yeah, that way you can get your money back because a lot of those that you're talking about, they take your money and run, or they send you something that's not what you ordered.
Yep, I had one on PayPal where it was a keyboard that was sort of split down the middle, so you could have it separated. Seemed kind of cool. The price was amazing, so I ordered it, and it never came. I went to their website again. I couldn't. There was no website there anymore. So since I'd paid with PayPal, I just had PayPal look into it, and the only communication I got from the sender was that like, oh hey, PayPal hurts us because we're a small business. Please rescind your challenge. I'm like, no, I ain't got shit. So PayPal refunded me, and when their package arrived, it was not a keyboard; it was a USB speaker, and it shipped. It was not even remotely what I was looking for. So,
Which I've heard a lot from like AliExpress and Alibaba and all of those. Or you're like, oh, you get this 10-foot tall teddy bear, and the thing is, it's actually 10 centimeters.
yeah, 10 centimeters. Yeah.
So we should say, since there are new people coming in with the raids, that More Than Dice, a podcast, is our Sunday night podcast
Mm-hmm.
that we've been doing for, well, 158 episodes. 150. It was 158, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we're on
158.
158
I don't
right
know
now.
why I'm having trouble remembering that number. uh, so every Sunday night we do this podcast. And then during the week, I paint miniatures on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And on Fridays, I read pulp fiction. This last Friday, I just finished reading Conan the Cimmerian and the People of the Black Circle, written in 1934 by Robert E. Howard. It's a Conan the Barbarian story, and it took 3 sessions, 3 Fridays, to get that one done. I already have the next one picked out. So, yeah. Ah, thanks for the link, Shark. Now we can go see them. They look sharp. I
Oh, they
love
look
the
cool.
color scheme.
Yeah, those are great.
Hey, if you're working on something, go ahead and post it up so we can see it, because that's kind of what we're
Is
doing
that a
today.
dead ultramarine? I'm all about dead ultramarines.
Yeah, anybody's welcome to post pictures of their work.
Yes.
Ooh, check out that bright light.
That's a good light.
Oh, wow.
And then he's got his head and his eyeballs light up too.
Let's be honest, LEDs have done a ton for all sorts of lighting.
Yeah.
It makes me think of Micronauts all of a sudden.
Oh, Micronauts.
Man,
That's a deep dive.
yeah, it is.
Back in the day.
Well, I mean, they still try. They've had many, many, many attempts at coming back. Note, I said attempts.
Geeky Tadiki says, I haven't read a Conan book in ages. I only vaguely remember them from my brother's bookshelf. That's where I remember them from, too. Well, not your brother, but my brother. He had, like, the whole series. I never read any of them. So, The People of the Black Circle was my very first Conan book that I read. It wasn't technically a book. It appeared in Weird Tales magazine in 3 installments. And the one I'm reading next week is I don't remember the name of it. Hour of the Dragon, I want to say. But that one also appears in 3 different issues of Weird Tales magazine. So it should be fun. The first one was so cheesy, and everybody in the comments or in the chat was leaving comments, and that just made it so much more fun. Hey, Crate says, okay, back from cleaning up after a crazy night of solo D&D module adventure. cool.
That sounds cool, yeah.
Yeah, he's been. What's it called officially? Make right? Is it? It's not solo D&D, is it? It's got a name, and I don't remember it for some reason.
Okay. One down.
So, but he's been streaming that, and that's been fun to watch. I really liked the world building part. If there's a name other than solo D&D, I don't know it. That's fair.
You know what? We're gonna
How to
save
host a dungeon. That's
later.
it.
Oh yeah.
How to host a dungeon thing.
So, I did Prowl there. Out of the Prowl and Ironhide 2-pack. I'm gonna leave Ironhide for later. You can
Did
stand
someone
here in
force
front
you
of-
to transform again?
No, but I opened them. I always transform them when I open them.
Oh, okay. I was just kind of curious because
How else would I figure it out? I mean, he was easy. I didn't barely read the instructions because he's the third of what's called the Dotson brothers, which was Prowl, Blue Streak, and
The
Smokescreen.
Dotson brother, are they just pickup trucks?
Well, no, they used to be old Dotson 300ZXs from the 80s.
Uh-huh.
So
And
they were all
it's,
the same old, and they were called the Dotson brothers because there were three of them, sort of like the three Decepticon F-15s. So he's the third of the Dotson brothers. I got the other two back here. This one is Smokescreen, and this one is Blue Streak, even though he's blue and he's not. It's a long story. I'm not going to get into it. I think the blue one would be Blue Streak. Actually, let's get him closer here. Hold on. This is Smokescreen. He's actually based off a racing one. Actually, an actual racer's one, which is cool. You know. Boom. And then this is Blue Streak. He is silver because that was the color he is. There has been some versions of him that were blue, but they generally keep him in his classic paint scheme, which I really like, actually. Too long didn't read. I think they named him Quicksilver, but there were problems with it, so they changed it to Blue Streak because he's fast. And there you go, even though he's not blue. But there are a lot of, since the original Transformers were imported from Japan, Diaclone and such, there's a lot of multiple colors for guys. Sort of how people occasionally found a Bumblebee that was actually red, that was still a Volkswagen Beetle, but he was red instead of yellow. Because sometimes they were just different colors. Oh. That's that. I need a new shelf for all my Transformers. That's getting to be too much.
What?
These are only the Autobots. I got the Decepticons
You
over
need
there.
like a stacking shelf. You need a tall
Yeah.
shelf so you can keep building up.
Yeah. I need to watch it because I bought one. I'm gonna grab it real quick.
Sidney is asking, how do you all know each other?
Crabs.
Well, I met John from another podcast I used to do, and we became friends. And when that podcast shut down, him and I decided to make our own podcast. And we originally had another guy on here, but he couldn't do it. And so I went searching for someone I could know that would knew how to paint and was good at painting, because I suck at painting. And was very good at hobbying. And so I searched, and I sent a message to Kathy and said, "Hey, on your way back from ReaperCon."
You didn't know I didn't know either of these guys. And I don't even know how you got my name.
I went searching and looking around at people, and
Stop. We went looking for the best.
yeah.
So I get a message while I'm driving back to Chicago from ReaperCon about this, and I thought, well, let's see what they're about. And at that time, you had 7 or 8 episodes, I think, and I was able to listen to those on my drive. And I'm like, well, these guys seem amusing, and they know how to intelligently talk about games.
That's false. I don't know to talk about anything.
Also, I mention it was right after a convention, so I was probably sleep deprived
That checks out.
and not in my right mind
Now that
when
we
I
can
made this
understand.
decision.
Oh, so I want to show you guys this one real quick. This is a third-party transformer, and it may not look like crap because third-party transformers are generally really good. It's funny. This is a car version of Windblade. They call Wheelblade. Windblade's usually she's like a fan-created one. She's like a jet that turns into a female transformer with a sword, and I really like the character, but I haven't found a good version of her. And this came out third party, so I picked it up. The only problem with it, besides the sheath keeps falling off there, is that it is super complicated and out of scale. To give you an idea, here's Ironhide, who's a reasonably mid to tall transformer, and he is a bit shorter than her. And he turns into a minivan, she turns into a Porsche. So, scale, not so much. But I still love her. It's a cool model, a cool toy. It's not exactly cheap, but not super expensive. And just in case Captain Missy's wondering, this is not one I will ever transform for Transform It as a channel points award, because this one is super complicated. It would take me probably a good 15-20 minutes. Because it is not, like I said, it's complicated. But it's also really cool. She sits over on a different shelf because she's out of scale. And the better thing is they made it, since it's based off another model they made for Transformers Headmasters. Her head pops off and is, of course, a little transformer.
A widow transformer.
Her head is a tiny transformer?
Yep.
Yeah, that was the whole thing of Headmasters. It was actually people in suits who would become the heads of the Transformers.
That's cool.
Japan's odd, so I mean, hey. No, Captain Mizzy, that's not a good channel challenge because this is an intricate model. There was a point when I first got it and transformed it that I actually had to refer to a video from someone else who had gotten the model and see how they transformed it, because there were parts of there's like a part in here where you twist it around, flip it down, and then twist it around and flip it down again. And it is the most counterintuitive thing, but when you go from a small, Porsche to this transformer, it's actually still pretty cool. So, she's pretty cool. She's got a sword. I like things with swords, which is why Drift's back there. But anyways, that's enough of me rambling about Transformers for now, isn't it?
There's another question from Sidwee. Have you all met in person? I met Gonzo at Adepticon for the first time. Was it 3 years ago?
Had to be 2019.
3 years ago?
Oh no, it had to be 2018 because Gonzo couldn't go
couldn't
2019.
go last time.
Yeah, and then I
Yeah.
went for 2020.
So I met him. Hey, Jarrett, welcome. Have fun at D&D.
And I've met Gonzo in person at War Machine Weekend very briefly.
Yes.
Before we were on a podcast together.
Correct.
And I've never met John. Although we know a bunch of the same people.
we
Which,
do.
I mean, it's this community, you're bound to know somebody mutual.
Well, I knew a lot of people in the GW world, and a lot of them moved out to some moved out to Chicago, and others are just, popular people in the world. A lot of us in this area that I'm in were Games Workshop first. So.
He keeps asking why one of us is upside down, Gonzo.
I have no clue. It must be because I'm streaming from Australia again.
Hey, it's because he's weird.
It's because he's
He's a weirdo.
weird.
Gonzo,
In
weirdo.
fact, there is a community challenge.
Yeah, there is a cutie challenge.
Spend channel points to get him to stop being weird for one episode. So we don't have to look at him be upside down.
Definitely do that one and the one where Kathy reads, do not do Hydrate John.
Oh, wait. Did someone say hydrate? Beer.
I'm hydrating with tea right now. I have a jasmine tea right now, and it's finally cool enough where I can drink it without searing the roof of my mouth off. And it smells so good.
It sounds good.
You know what's funny, Kathy, is talking about whenever I was looking for somebody to take the place, I had asked around in the industry of people that I knew that, did hobbying and painting and all that stuff. And they gave me names, and I was like, and I went, no, I want Kathy. And what was interesting was the cold call, pretty much, of, hey.
And they said, that girl? Are you sure?
Actually, I was told to make sure I get you. Because of your skill. But the interesting part was the cold call of sending you a message going, hey, blah, 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 we're looking for somebody. Would you be interested?
You don't know me, bud.
Well, and on top of that, Kathy had I wouldn't say a fear, but a concern about streaming and doing stuff,
On camera.
solo and on camera. Because remember, we first were going to have Kathy do like tutorial videos.
Good night, Shark in a Box.
Night, Shark in a Box. Thanks for
Wow.
raid.
Hey, look, I'm not going to fault anyone coming from the guy who almost failed speech class in high school. If y'all believe that.
But
Was uncomfortable speaking in front of people. Hashtag teenager? I mean,
That's
shit.
fair.
And nerdy teenager, aren't that?
But, it's funny because making videos, I've discovered this about myself. Making tutorial videos is hard for me. It makes me anxious. It makes me want to not do things. However, then I decided I would instead stream my painting live, because it turns out that it's easier for me to talk about what I'm doing while I'm in the process of doing it, and sort of analyze the process while it's happening instead of creating a lesson plan. So that's that's the whole reason why I started streaming my painting during the week.
Oh yeah, that's a common thing. Actually, I watch a video series where he's doing a bunch of stuff on a nuclear submarine, and you get those guys and you put them on the spot and they start to stutter and all that. But you get them in their element, those Navy guys. Then just how do you do this? And he's like this. They're like boom, 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 boom. Sometimes it's just in the head. You frame it the right way for what works for you.
Yeah. Yes, Nevik. I enjoy the conversation instead of the talking head thing. And I find it interesting because before streaming, I never really thought consciously about the how and the why that I do things, the way I approach miniature painting and the different techniques and everything. I never really thought about it. It's just things I did and learned, as I painted. And I didn't take classes, so I wasn't able to, see how other people explain it. I think there's a lot of people who teach classes or do tutorials that have taken classes from other people, and they can there's like a language for it that's kind of developed. And I didn't know what that language was, so for me to try and explain in a video how I'm doing object source lighting, or how I paint flames, or actually the painting flames one was easy because I've talked to people enough about that particular thing. But then I didn't know what should I do. I could do an eyeball painting one, or I could just stream, and then every time I paint eyeballs, I can explain to people what it is that I'm doing. But the thing that's interesting is, since I've explained my way through eyeballs enough times, I probably could do a class in painting eyeballs. But before, I wasn't at a place mentally where I felt like I could explain that or come up with any kind of a lesson plan for it.
yeah, because I mean, what's interesting about the whole thing, what I was building to, is that now that you're doing this,
You just got the echo again.
It's coming from someone's.
I feel like you bumped something.
No, it's John's mic picking up. Um, that. There it is still.
Is it there again?
Yeah, it's still there. That doing this and you streaming now, anytime that you're late or not able to get on air, I get flooded with messages. Where's Kathy? Where's Kathy? Kathy, where's Kathy?
Really?
Yes, I do. And it comes through because, I have all the connections through, me, so I can get them real quick. So y'all don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And that one day that you were late last week, everybody's like,
Oh, was that when my computer decided it wanted to
fuck off?
it was like we detected an error, so I'm just gonna restart now. Like
Yes.
2 minutes after yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, because I got messages not only on personal text messages from Captain Mizzy, but from other people and from things going, is Kathy okay? What's going on with Kathy? And I was laughing because I was like, well, there you go. 18 and 20. So.
And I was running behind that day
Yes.
anyways. I wasn't having the best day that day.
No, because I was like, okay, I'll check on it. And I sent that message and I was like, okay, is Kathy, you doing okay? And then you're up, and then I go to check the message, make sure everything's going okay. And you're fine. It was just, a glitch. But you're a member of the community, and people worry, and people are like, you're part of my daily routine now. And so I think that's amazing, because every once in a while I'll jump on Twitch and go check out, artists that we don't follow, just people to see what they're like and everything. And I'll jump in there and it's like, oh, Kathy isn't following this person. Let's see what they're going, see what they're doing and such. And they're like, oh, hey, Kathy. And I'm like, oh, now I got to tell them it's not Kathy. But it's just Gonzo.
I love this community. I think the miniature painting RPG community, there's a lot of crossover between like the D&D RPG community and the miniature painting community. I think that's fantastic. And all the people that I've met, who are, streamers or people who hang out in the chat of these different streamers have all just been super friendly.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's even bigger now because we all can't go anywhere. We can't do anything.
Everybody's trapped at home.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do tonight? I don't know. I guess I'll watch people stream D&D. Or miniature painting. Or, yeah. And Twitch and Discord have been my refuge for socializing.
Oh yeah. Holy moly.
Because I like to socialize. It's funny because I always think of myself as being an introvert, but I do like to listen to other people having conversations. I like to paint in a group, like when we used to go to the Games Workshop Battle Bunker. They had the paint bar there, and we would all sit around the paint bar, and it was like Cheers, but for miniature painting. And and I had my spot, and everybody knew each other's name, and we all talked about Warhammer and miniature painting and other stuff, and it's a lot like that.
Well, this week, I started working on and getting stuff ready for Warfare Weekend, which of course isn't happening until November. Fingers crossed. And I started reminiscing about, past conventions and stuff. And I was like, oh man, I miss that so much. I miss hanging out with people, nerding out about stupid stuff. And just, being around my people, as they say. Because, I mean, there's something about that, of just being around the people that that most of the time we're around people that we care about and that don't care about our hobbies and stuff. But there's something about being at a convention and doing it at a convention than in doing it, at your local game store. And you get to see
also,
people.
I mean, people are tribal, so they like to get with people who are similar.
Correct. So I mean, it just came through this week, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait, can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. I'm ready.
Legionnaires wants to nerd out about the Crucible Guard CID.
I have not had a chance to look. Oh, talking about that,
Uh-oh.
I actually put a purchase in for a new War Machine model, which I need for an army, because I got invited to a small man tournament coming up this weekend on Saturday. It's going to be small, local. Keep it with the people. And it's not local. It's in Springfield, which is like 4 hours away, but it's a group of people that I do stuff with all the time. They've got certain procedures put in and so on and so forth, and and it's another reason I've been jonesing to get together and play games, which we all have. Don't get us wrong. But I actually bought new models for my Grimkin army, which is a weird thing to do.
Why would someone do that?
One, the model's actually really fucking cool, and two, well, I needed it for a tournament because I want to play with them. And Grimkin's one of my armies. Probably going to be my only army.
I like it when the Transformers get to a point where it's like, I don't need to look at the instructions anymore. I know how parts of this go together because it becomes intuitive. Because it's not always intuitive, honestly. So there's Ironhide, mostly in truck mode. The only problem is his feet are kind of visible at the back there, which is a problem, but you can't win them all, right? And then his shield becomes the top of the truck, which is really cool, actually. The windows pop out and all.
Oop, that's not supposed to go there.
Boom. Boom. And that.
C16. So I'm going to go with just the basic punching hands on my Ultraman first.
Ultron, that's someone else entirely.
I know, I corrected myself.
Oh, it's even better. His gun can actually store in here. There's a little peg in the center and a little hole in the side of his gun. You can store his gun in the center. That's really cool. I love when they do little stuff like that because it's like, oh, cool. Oops, that didn't work. I like when parts don't fall on the ground.
But no, Kathy and I joked. I called Kathy up one day and was like, hey, need to tell you about something that happened last night. And it was because, I was, after the show, I was just looking at other people to follow and, put on the air and, do whatever. Because, we're help support everybody. And it was just hilarious because it was constantly, hey, Kathy. Not Kathy, sorry. So you've put a positive impact on the community. It's hilarious at some points. Aha. We only got 2 pages left. I'm not talking about the stickers, though.
Boom. Not quite totally done. Figure out what is holding him up.
Anton,
hey, Anton.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, we don't have a social command yet, sorry.
I thought there was
There
one.
is a social command.
Gonzo, did it get disabled on accident?
It
I
could
may
be.
have accidentally disabled it when I was editing things.
Let me see.
Oh, really? God darn it.
There is a social. Give me a second. Or there should have been.
So all I can hear is
John.
the sound I'm hearing you doing your transformer.
Yes.
John?
Yes. You hear plastic parts moving because some stuff's coming apart that shouldn't come apart.
Kind of sounds like a Rubik's Cube.
It is a little like a Rubik's Cube sometimes. Trying to see what I'm doing wrong here. Nothing inherently looks like just being a biatch, which is a problem sometimes. And who mentioned that? Oh, yeah, make right. Actually, I would love to get a Voltron. Most of the ones that are good are very expensive, so I'd have to save up for it. So I have not. Basically, I've been trying to get all those parts of my childhood that I love. What is not hooking up right? Something's not. There we go. All right. Sometimes you just got to get the front and the back to all line up together, and sometimes it doesn't necessarily. But, um,
We just have the one that's only active right now. I think is the Facebook one. Let's see if it's there. It is.
there we go.
I'll make a social one tonight then and fix it.
It's a big truck. Kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
It's really cool because he looks the closest to his old Generation 1 version, because they don't have licenses to make actual vehicles anymore. So that's why most of them look like a Datsun. Like this, it looks kind of like a Datsun, but not exactly, because they have to be careful. That would be the Masterpiece line where they license them, and they're very expensive and very good, but hey, it is what it is.
I guess at some point I'm gonna have to do another Gundam.
Yeah.
Because I have this one now. That Barbados. So that's gonna be fun. And it's smaller and simpler than the other one
That's smaller, simpler.
that I did. The other one I did was so much fun. So this one should be kind of a snap.
I like him. He's got a good classic Gundam look.
Yeah.
Because I'm sort of a classic Gundam guy, so.
Make right, you do. Oh, I think you would probably enjoy it. It's very much like a puzzle.
Yeah, I actually have a bunch on my Amazon shopping list. The one I want to come back into stock, they actually have sort of a Gundam like sort of like a Gunpla model, but it's Gypsy Danger from Pacific Rim, and I would love that, but you know, it's out of stock and not cheap. That seems to be the thing. Most things are not cheap.
Nope, Gonzo, that didn't work.
Yeah, I noticed.
Legionnaires, you've got bolt action Americans too. Cool.
It sounds like Legionnaires has like all sorts of the games.
He's got
like most of us.
Rebels, he's got Starks, he's got bolt action Americans. Sidhui says I don't like assembling minis. Oh, I'm the same way. I would. Yeah, that's my least favorite.
That's really cool, Voltron, but I think it's just.
But Lego's great. I had a lot of fun with the putting together a Gundam kit. Isn't like assembling a model. It's more like a 3D puzzle to me. Following the instructions and getting everything snapped together. And that's the great thing about it is all the pieces. It's so well engineered. All the pieces just snap together.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to glue anything. You don't have to file stuff if you're not, going to be crazy. One of the crazy Gunpla people that
the perfect grades.
Yeah, doing the perfect things with the fancy paint jobs and everything. I didn't do any of that to mine, but I really enjoyed putting it together. It was therapeutic, and I'm looking forward to putting together this second one. Because I've only put together one. It is satisfying. The satisfying little click and pop when you get some of those pieces put together. Of course, I was fortunate. The person who sent me my very first Gundam kit, he had the same one, and we did a multi-stream. So both of us were putting them together, the same kit. side by side. So he was kind of coaching me through my first one.
Side by side, huh?
Yep, in tandem.
Oh, I was going to Hudson Hawk. Sorry.
Great movie.
I need to watch that again. I thought I bought Hudson Hawk, but it turns out it was just a rental.
Oh.
So, but I have it in my I have the Blu-ray in my cart. Like $8 right now.
Yeah, there's a point where I will just buy a Blu-ray. Spoiler for the hobby it's not even such a spoiler because media section's coming up. I actually bought one of the 2 movies I watched this. Well, actually, I watched 3 movies, but I bought one of the 3 last week. The other one I owned, and the third one was streaming. All right.
Well, it is only 3 minutes away from the media section.
I tried to put in that in, Kathy, and for some reason it's not taking.
I think it just doesn't like to do that while live. That happened to me. I couldn't edit something.
Well, Legionnaires, we could use Swinging on a Star, but, you know, me singing is not a good thing. Wow. Was that you, Gonzo?
What?
All that sound.
Sounds like somebody's sharpening a pencil in the background.
You know what? How about now?
That's better.
That was my mini heater I have in my room that I would put to my whatchamacallit? My resin. So it would heat up my resin, keep my resin heated and everything.
Gotcha.
Well, no, it can't figure out how. I guess it's not going to be on there.
Yes, for his 3D printer, Hinton. Yes.
2 printers. I have a resin and Anycubic Photon S and Ender 3 Pro. Which resin printing is not going on right now because it's just way too cold to keep and try to keep everything warm. So.
What's way too cold out of curiosity?
It needs to be at like 70 so degrees.
Okay.
So it's got to keep it just right. And lately, I've had a lot of failed prints, so I'm like, I'm just going to wait until after and then not worry about it.
No worries, just curious.
I don't.
Because honestly, different states have different idea of what too cold is.
It was in the negatives. Yes. Outside, yes, but indoors.
But still, yeah, that's
trying to keep it regulated. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
We have a heater, and we're getting we're getting a grow tent to put the printer in, or the printers. Don't ask me about our printers. I haven't even laid eyes on them.
Night, Legionnaires.
Night, Legionnaires.
Take it easy.
Good night, Legionnaires. Hope you feel better.
So we got the chest and one arm finished before the media section, and I still can't figure out how to get this going. But other than that, I actually tried to make it in somewhere else in Streamlabs chatbot. Maybe that'll do it. It'll be ! social. And it probably is not going to do it.
Nope, it's just being a butt.
Stop being a butt.
Is that minus 24 wind chill? Or is that real temp? I mean, it's cold either way once you get down to like less than 20. It's cold.
Yeah, I don't really split hairs at that point.
Yeah.
Especially because I don't have a winter jacket. Well, I have a winter jacket, but I don't wear it because it is of a logo of a sports team that no longer technically exists. It has been an ordeal to get a new winter jacket. My mom was buying me one for Christmas, and they're all too small. They say they're 2X, but it's not 2X. It's worth $2 to wear it. I get stopped occasionally, and you get the old people who are like, hey, son, they changed the team name. I'm like, yeah. They don't call them Washington anymore because all those damn senators. I'm like, fair play, old guy, but so I'm mostly running around with a hoodie. It's been tempered enough that I can get through it. Fun going out in the sleet with a hoodie, let me tell you.
I think it's sleeting here. It's the kind of snow where you could hear it.
Yep.
So, and it's in the upper 30s, and it's been in the single digits for all week. So today, it climbing up into the 30s was a surprise for me because I wasn't keeping my eye on the weather forecast.
Well, the hardest part is that now it melts some of the much snow you have, and then it'll freeze overnight and become ice. Because yay, ice!
It's actually supposed to be in the 30s for the next few days.
Shit,
I mean, I don't know what the lows are going to be, but highs in the 30s the next few days, I'll take it.
I mean, because don't you guys have, like, I don't know, several feet of snow piled up?
We have a couple feet of snow. Yeah. We have about 50 centimeters of snow for those people that don't speak in freedom units.
I officially have enough snow. Is there such thing as enough snow?
Yes. Though I generally find I don't usually get enough snow. It's either not enough or too fucking much.
I am in Chicago, Sidney. Yes.
Okay,
so officially had enough snow. Yes, I agree. I have also had enough snow. Now is the time for the snow to start melting, and the crocuses to start pushing their little heads up through the last remaining ice. And then Kathy gets to sit out on the front step again and enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah, so for the people that don't know, this is our media section where we're going to talk about things that we've watched, read, listened to, you name it. Don't forget that we do have some challenges going on right now. One is to force my camera to the right side angle for one podcast, being championed by Captain Mizzy of all people. And then the other one is to force John to drink nothing but water during the podcast. And
you can skip that one.
No, that remember, mine is the one that is the, just to get you to throw points at, while the real trophy is John's. That's the real trophy.
False. Lies.
Getting John to drink water for an entire stream is
and
trophy.
Nothing but water. The entire stream.
Word for that. It's called bullshit.
The chapter challenge, though,
yes.
That's the cooler one.
That's the cool one. Kathy will be reading if y'all make her challenge, she will read chapter 2 from the Mouth of Madness. And she has to stop whatever she's doing and do it unless it's on Friday, because that's when she does her read along.
Yeah, if it happens on Friday, that means it gets postponed until during our podcast.
And John and I decide when she has to start reading it. So we will have to figure that out when it happens. If it happens.
John hasn't watched any movies that week, you could expect it to come during the media section.
And it has to be a full chapter. But in this one, besides the two things that I did forget to watch, one of them just didn't get time to watch, John. I have two other shows that I watched. Kathy, how many did you have?
2.5.
2.5. John?
One above the two we were both supposed to watch.
Oh, so I'll go, then Kathy go, and then you go. How about that?
That sounds normal.
All right. So I watched the new movie that came on, and it was called A Monster Calls, which is on Netflix, which is based off of a book. And it's a story about a kid dealing with life issues and how he's handling those life issues. It's done really well. Graphics are really, really good in this because the monster is a giant treeman that really doesn't torture this kid, but, makes this kid realize what's going on in his life and face his fears type thing. If you ever watched I Kill Giants or read the graphic novel, it's based on the same theory of this kid's going through a hard time and he's trying to rationalize everything and get things going, and this is how he's doing it.
It's more of a metaphorical monster than a literal monster.
Yeah, the monster is really cool because it's voiced by what's his name, Qui-Gon Jinn,
Liam Neeson?
Liam Neeson. Yeah, it's voiced by him, and it's a British kid that has to deal with bullying in school, his mom getting sick, just stuff like overwhelming things. I think he's probably like in his young teens. It wasn't bad. I liked I Kill Giants more because I'm only comparing it because they're based off the same concept. But graphically, the movie was amazing. Acting was good. Nothing wrong with it per se. It's just I saw it before, so it really wasn't a big twist or anything going on. But I liked it. It was good. I give it 2 space herpes. Maybe 1.5. I wouldn't go any lower than that though, because or higher than that, I should say, because it was a good movie. It was just solid, but wasn't in the meh rating type thing. So 1.5 to space herpes. Kathy?
I watched True Lies.
Oh shit!
I
Hell
watched
yeah!
that for the first time since like the late 90s.
Oh shit!
I remembered almost nothing about it, except that I liked it. And that's the part that I took away from it was, wow, I really liked that. That was more fun than I thought it would be. And which is what I thought back then. And I'm pretty certain that back then I missed the beginning because when it started at the beginning part, I remembered nothing. I'm like, what? There was
It's not
like a
really
whole
important. It's a
section
cold
where I'm
open.
like, what? I remember him getting out of a wetsuit and being in a tuxedo, and I remember that party, but then after that, there's this whole chunk of time that I don't remember, but I was doing a job while it was on in the background, so probably that's why. Uh, I enjoyed it again this time. I enjoyed it more probably because I wasn't freezing and working at the same time. But Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold Schwarzenegger together were awesome. I like her in pretty much everything I've ever seen her in. And Arnold Schwarzenegger so when I do my reading of Conan out loud, I decided like in the second session of reading that story that I would voice Conan with the Arnold accent. And so it was interesting to be paying attention to that part of it. I was researching it. We'll just call it that.
Researching, yeah.
I was researching so that I can make the next Conan even more hilarious.
And Bill Paxton of that is awesome.
Oh, he's
His little role is
fantastic.
great. It's funny because it's sort of like a weird aside from the main story. And you're like, what's going on? But it's just so enjoyable. You let it slide.
And I totally forgot about the part at the end. That just made it.
Yeah, True Lies is a good movie.
It's just a fun action flick, and I didn't watch any James Bond, but that made up for it.
Yeah, I would say that's a good homage pastiche of James Bond. It's sort of like both an homage and a parody of it at the same time.
I do feel like once I am finally finished working my way through all the James Bonds, I then have to watch the Austin Powers movies.
And then afterwards, I think you should watch the Kingsman movies.
Oh, yes, that's a good idea. I saw the first one, but I didn't see the second one.
I like the second one a lot, too. There's a lot of good with it. I think people just sort of missed it on that one.
I also want to watch the David Niven Casino Royale from the 1960s.
I mean, I feel like you have to. It's definitely in your wheelhouse there.
I almost feel like maybe that should have been the first thing. but
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about that at the time.
So, True Lies, how many space herpes?
0.
I feel like that's appropriate.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I would watch it again even.
Cool. My
Um,
first one. Oh, go ahead.
oh
My first one is Avengers. I watched Avengers. 0 space herpes.
no, nice.
The only thing I really actively noted in it is Tony Stark's a bit of a douche in this. He's not
Uh-huh.
quite where he is. His lines draw the line between funny and douchery. He's walking that line very closely. But it's still great. What do you want? It's the Avengers. That's my review. I mean, come on, it's the Avengers.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
Gonzo.
So the next one was, of course, another Netflix one, because that's what I did the only time, was a movie called Outside the Wire. And I need to look up because I totally forgot this guy's name. I'm really bad with names right now. And it is Anthony Mackie, plays a
Got that
cyborg.
check.
He plays pretty much a cyborg, doing this special op mission. The plot is not good. Action, fine. Special effects, fine. But overall, the story is just not good. You've seen it before. You know what's going on. You kind of lose interest after a while. You're like, okay. Okay.
Banian was watching it while eating dinner, and it didn't capture me enough. I came in right about a fight scene. I watched the fight scene and then wandered off. It didn't grab me enough to sit down and watch it or even note it beyond the name.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's better than a stick in the eye. But, I mean...
Let's not.
What's it called again?
Outside the Wire.
Outside the Wire, yeah.
Yeah. It's on Netflix. It's not bad. I mean, it was good background noise as I was doing stuff. But, I mean, it was okay. I give it the 2.5 meh rating of Space Herpes because, like I said, it's better than a sharp stick in the eye.
You're like, this is an average action movie. Get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah. I mean, I love Anthony Mackie, and he was actually good in it. He had his, he kind of played a douchey android, but it was still, he had a couple of good lines, but overall as a whole,
I did feel like they hampered themselves by putting him in the douchey android sort of role. He's better when he gets to be a little more witty and personal because he's got a ton of charisma.
Yeah.
You want him to sort of be the plucky-ish hero because he fits that so well.
Yeah. So, other than that, it was okay. Kathy, what's yours?
I watched a Netflix show. It's called In Family I Trust. And it's a Spanish comedy.
What?
Like
You're watching stuff in foreign languages?
What's wrong with you?
So, just so people know, I don't speak Spanish. I totally had subtitles going. I prefer things in subtitles instead of dubbed because I really like to listen to the language because I feel like you get that original tone of voice of the original actors and everything.
Yeah. There's only a handful of things I've ever seen where the dubbed is better than the subtitles.
Yeah. So I absolutely loved this movie. I didn't know what to expect because I didn't read anything about it. All it had was the blurb about, and the blurb's not even totally accurate. This woman finds out her boyfriend cheated and, with a television personality and she goes back to her home. But what it doesn't say is woman and guy are in a bar with their friends and they see this television personality and this woman, this television personality is one of the people on his list of celebrities that you're allowed to cheat with, right? You've heard of that?
Yeah.
Yes.
The thing. And so his girlfriend, she's drunk because they're celebrating, goes up to this woman and introduces her boyfriend to her, and basically gives the okay, and then realizes later when it happened that, she did have a tiny role to play. I mean, obviously her boyfriend made the decision to go and do it, but anyways, so it's not like she found out that he's cheating, after like an affair or something. It's not like that at all. But anyways, so she goes back to her family in this small village in Spain, and it's really just about the family dynamic there, and it's really lighthearted film. It's a heartwarming moments about all these people who are working through you know, their issues together as a family, helping each other work their way through the issues that they're having with their own little families. And the matriarch is amazing. Uh, she was a great character, and I just I loved it. By the end, I laughed, I cried, and it left me smiling. So a success. I
Awesome.
give it 0 space herpes.
Kathy only watches the good stuff, apparently. So my second one will be a crossover with Gonzo, since he did half of the assignment.
Sorry.
Since we are counting down to the premiere of Giant Monkey versus Atomic Lizard, we are watching all of the movies from that series. We were supposed to both watch Kong Skull Island and Godzilla from 2014, but I imagine Gonzo only watched Godzilla 2014.
Yes.
All right. So Godzilla 2014 is, let's get it out of the way, it's kind of a miss. It's not a bad miss, but it misses because it sort of forgets the entire point of a fucking kaiju movie, which is the fucking kaiju.
Yeah.
Now, unlike a lot of people, because I asked if I should purchase it or rent it since it's not available to stream, and I overwhelmingly got purchase it, but the people who didn't like it really didn't like it because too much human drama, which I don't mind, but it's sort of the problem with some of these things. If you don't have enough human drama, I mean, at the end of the day, sure, I can watch Godzilla beating the fuck out of some other kaiju all day long, but that does not a good movie make. So the story starts off with Bryan Cranston and his family, who are running a nuclear power plant in Japan, and shit goes wrong. They don't know why, and then it cuts forward, and Bryan Cranston's son is now in the military, explosive ordnance disposal. That'll be important later. And he's just a crazy guy living in Japan who keeps trying to get in there to prove that it wasn't an earthquake, to prove that they're wrong and they're hiding stuff. And of course they are, because interspersed in there, they show a hatched egg in a off of a South Pacific island. In a South Pacific island, they were digging for minerals, and they opened up this chamber, and one of the eggs had hatched, and whatever it was had crawled out. Of course, I'm going to spoil this because it's 2014. It's been 7 years. It crawls to the power plant, nests in there, and of course the organization Monarch that's following them follows and keeps a lid on it. Says it's a radioactive zone. Bryan Cranston gets in trouble because he's going in there trying to find his notes. His son has to fly after he gets out of the military for leave to Japan to bail him out, which I don't think actually happens. I'm pretty sure the American consul just comes and picks your ass up and puts you on a plane back to America or whatever. But sure, for the movie, I'll give it a pass. And he convinces his son to go in there and look, and they get captured. And then the Muto, which is what they call all of them, I forget what it stands for. It's not actually important. It's a kaiju. Breaks out, kills a bunch of people, and Bryan Cranston is killed, but his son is not. I find the weird thing is how his son keeps interspersing in and out of the story when really it's like the worst luck couple days in anyone's life. He flies out, gets involved, they break out, he gives them some information, like, we're going to send you to Honolulu. It's only 50 miles away. You can catch a flight back to San Francisco. You're out of this. Well, of course the Muto makes its way to fucking Honolulu, because apparently it flung a fucking Russian submarine from the North Pacific to Honolulu, or I guess from the South Pacific I would have to be. It gets really weird there, and Godzilla comes, of course, because Godzilla's going to kill his ass, because that's Godzilla's job. Just say, poor Quicksilver, I'm going to call him Quicksilver because he's Marvel's Quicksilver, keeps getting involved in bad problems and it keeps following him around basically. And he's involved in the whole part. And the whole thing is they're going to meet up because the other Muto, which was the other egg, was taken back to Monarch's headquarters and put where they put all nuclear stuff in Nevada and breaks out, and they're all heading to San Francisco, where, of course, Quicksilver's family, the Scarlet Witch, who is his wife, and slightly weird after watching the Marvel movies, I'm going to say, and his son are, and Godzilla and the Mutos fight there, and Quicksilver's involved. That's the basic plot, and I mean, when you get to see Godzilla and he gets to beat the crap out of stuff, it's really cool. Other than that, it is a little too much on the human elements, which would be okay if they had enough of the kaiju elements. Like, I would love to see a knockdown, drag-out early fight with Godzilla beating the crap out of the one Muto on Honolulu and it running away because it can fly. And then, of course, he has to follow it, and then they're beating up on him because it's 2-on-1 then in San Francisco. But it's sort of a miss. Gonzo, what do you think?
I agree with you. There was the star-studded cast that was in there. You're like, okay, it's a star-studded cast. I don't care for the most part.
Bryan Cranston for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to see giant monsters beat the shit out of each other. That's what it is. I mean, we understand you got to have the little human element. But yeah, it was a miss for me too. I didn't care for it so much. I wish it was more monster beating up. But other than that, I mean, it gets that meh rating. It could have been better, but it wasn't.
I get a little better than Med. I get Med Plus because I think what it did right, it did very right. I love just how absolutely incompetent the military is, but I actually feel like it's kind of appropriate. They have no idea what they're doing. More on that in a minute. But yeah, I give it 2 space herpes. It's worth watching. If you got the choice, rent it. I bought it. I don't feel bad about buying it, but I would not I wouldn't necessarily suggest that to everyone. I really love Godzilla movies, so I can definitely get by it. But I definitely like the story they're pulling with the whole world they're building, and they do a lot of world building, which I like. Where Godzilla is basically nature's way of stopping this other shit. He's nature's protector almost. You know, these shits woke up. Oh no, it ain't time for you to wake up. It's time to sit down, motherfuckers. I'm Godzilla. And he fucks shit up, I'll be honest. So, 2 space herpes.
You've got to look at the challenge, Nixel.
Gonzo, that was your third one.
Yeah.
It sounds like you give it 2.5. I don't.
Yeah, it was a meh type thing. It's going to take 100,000 total for me to flip my camera, so you'll have to wait for that. Donate whatever points you want, but make sure that you know that I'm not the real prize to be won here. John is. So get ready.
That is false.
You say that.
So, Kathy, what's your half?
Actually, so my half is what was it called? Effie Gray. I saw that on Netflix and I thought I would give it a try. It sounded interesting. And it's a biopic about the wife of the pre-Raphaelite artist John Ruskin. And have a good night, Sidwee. Thanks for hanging out for a while. So it's depressing, I'm not gonna lie. It was so depressing.
Not really my thing right now.
I am not like Gonzo. It was past 10 o'clock, it was past my bedtime. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna finish this. No, I had thought maybe I'll come back to it tomorrow, but no. No. I don't care if she has an affair with another artist that's closer to her age that she meets, who actually wants to pay attention to her, because her husband doesn't. Yeah. No.
Fair enough. So, Gonzo, do you want to save Kong Ska Island for next week?
Yeah, let's go and say that way I can watch it. I do remember it, but I haven't done it on a rewatch.
It is on HBO Max for free, if anyone cares. And Godzilla will also be watching Godzilla King of the Monsters, so he gets caught up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you still got 2, son. You can't escape.
Yeah.
Dose.
Make sure you remind me on Wednesday. Remind me Wednesday. It's going to be a crazy week at work. I did want to go in and let everybody know that I did watch. I'm further into the season of The Good Place. And I'm enjoying it more, Kathy. It is becoming a bit better. I'm liking it a bit more. So I'm having fun with it. We watch like an episode every few days or so, or a couple of others. But I'm liking The Good Place. I'm definitely working my way through the rest of Stargate SG-1. It's kind of my background music whenever I'm doing something in the living room. And this week I had to do that a lot. It's definitely going to the thing of you can tell that they're wrapping up the stories. That they're going to be concluding everything because you can see people coming in for, here's Stargate Atlantis. You can tell they're getting ready for Stargate Atlantis. They're getting ready for Stargate, Universe and all this other stuff. But what I did think was interesting as I was watching this, and then of course on my phone as an ad during Facebook, the new Stargate SG-1 role-playing game that's coming out being Kickstarted or whatever, and I just thought it was hilarious, which I guess someone else is doing it, so I'll have to wait and I'll see it. I mean, because to me, I think the Stargate universe is an interesting universe. I think it's got great potential. It could have made a great MMO in my opinion, because you have unlimited amount of things that you could do and go. So it was just everything. But I'll have to wait. I did see something I thought was funny is they're planning on a reboot of Quantum Leap. I'm not sure if they're going to do the original actors or what, but supposedly there is going to be a reboot or another season come out of Quantum Leap. And I was like, don't know about that.
I will take sci-fi series I never watched for 1,000 there.
I didn't watch it a lot, but I did watch it enough that I know what it was about and everything. So
not a bit. My Quantum Leap was called Travelers.
Oh.
I did not enjoy Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I hated it. It just wasn't one of those ones that I was interested. I watched maybe a few episodes, but it never drew me in enough to care about it.
Yeah.
Correct. That was about me.
Oh, Kathy, I got to ask you something. What is your opinion of the remaster of Diablo 2?
I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, they're doing a remaster.
I didn't even know that it was
Diablo
a thing.
2. Yeah, they just announced it this past weekend.
Yeah.
I think.
Remaster.
Yeah, they're remastered.
Yeah, and they're also talking about Diablo 4, which I probably won't buy.
Yeah.
But Diablo 2 is very near and dear to my heart. I love Diablo 2.
Yeah, that was the first time I played Diablo. Was at my friend's house, and I was playing in her account.
One of the guys I used to play Star Wars, the collectible card game from Decipher Games with, like, I played this, I enjoyed it, here, have it, and he just gave me Diablo. I'm like, all right, and I loaded it up, like, this is awesome, and then I bought Diablo 2 when it came out. Me and my ex-wife loved the crap out of those games. So, there you go.
Well, guys, that is our podcast for the night. We appreciate everybody coming in. We appreciate everybody listening. Make sure that you bug John to make sure he goes and streams more Mech Warrior Online. And make sure, don't forget to watch Kathy on Tuesday through Friday, 3 to 5 Central, as she's going to be painting. Are we working on oils still, Kathy, or are we just back to normal painting?
We're working on oils. My only pause in oils will be during ReaperCon Online, where I will be painting some Reaper models, and I'm pretty sure I'll be using acrylics because I'll be using Reaper paint. So, well, that makes my decision up for me.
Yeah.
I'll be using Reaper clears, and I'll be painting Reaper miniatures during that time. So.
And that is March 5th through 7th for those of you who don't know, and I will post a link right here in the stream.
Awesome.
Yay. Thank you, John.
Boom.
So, for More Than Dice, oh, wait. We
I'm
will
John.
be raiding to the Pyro Club. They're doing their Harlan's Heroes Monster of the Week campaign. So we'll be sending y'all to them. But for More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm John. Still.
I'm still Kathy.
Good night, people.
Good
Good
night.
night.
That's just really on about that neck where you're streaming. How many people want to watch me get my ass whooped like that?
Everybody does.
Probably.
Everybody want to watch you play. Everybody. Everybody.
Everybody.
I'm using air quotes when I say play.
Except I watched an entire episode session of Harlan's Heroes last
shit.
Sunday, which I never get to do.